guys, so I just want to tell you that replacing the control valve or solenoid valve, some people call it a different thing, was a success. The expansion valve didn't do anything when I put a new one in it, in this car. And this is a 2004 Mercedes C230. It's a 1.8 engine. It's got the w203 chassis, I think they call it. And I just started the car about, couldn't have been more than 2 minutes ago. So this should maybe even drop even more than this. I'm at idle. I'm not driving the car. I haven't drove the car for about 2 hours or more now. Let's see if I can get more light on here. So it looks like it's about 42 right now, but it does drop to 38, 39. It's probably because I have this set so low. There's hardly any air coming out of the vents. It's really cold in here. I mean, freezing cold. This temperature here that you see is not what it is, of course. This radio came out of a Hyundai Sonata or something. I just threw it in here because mine was making noise. So anyway, let's see what it's on now. So it's probably on about 41 degrees, right? And that is very good, because before I changed the control valve, the AC control valve, it's on the one on the compressor. You probably know if you looked at my other videos. Before I changed it, the temperature was, I think the most I got when driving was about 57, I think. Yeah, about 57. And don't get me wrong, 57 degrees, that's not bad at all. It's better than having nothing. If you had it if you have the vents pointing right at your face, it's not that bad at all. So let me take you to the process of what I did last. After replacing the control valve on the AC compressor, some people call it a solenoid valve, but after replacing that, I vacuumed the system. Okay, I pulled the vacuum. Then I added a tiny bit of oil in an aerosol can. The can was compressed. I believe it was, well, I don't want to say what it was, just in case you buy it and put it in and then something's wrong. But I believe it had a 46 on it. Hopefully that's the right one. According to the internet, whatever I bought was the exact one for this exact compressor. So I just put a very little in. I hooked it up just like you would a Freon can. I shook it, I turned it upside down, I squeezed the trigger for 3 seconds, because that's all that I thought maybe this would need. I never heard any jingling or ticking sounds or anything on the compressor, so I believe that it probably didn't need a lot, or maybe none at all. But I thought I would take the chance and try it, and then if something went wrong, for example, I get cool air, then not such cool air, on and off, I would think maybe I put too much oil in there, and it could be blocking the ports or something like that, because that's what happens. So I'm willing to take that chance, because I'd rather take that chance than have less oil in that compressor. After I put the oil in, I then put a can of Freon. I started the car. I put the AC on number 5, not number 6. 6 is the most it can go. I put on number 5. I didn't press any other buttons. I was thinking if I pressed that recirculating button, but I didn't press that either. And that's it. I went back to the engine and I shook the can. I pressed the trigger. I tilted the can. Probably, I think it was 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And I shook it a couple of times. I shook it while releasing the trigger. I released the trigger. I shook the can. Squeezed the trigger. Went from 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And, every 10 seconds, I took my fingers off the trigger. I shook the can. The can was like an ice cube, even colder than that. You couldn't even hold it. I had to put it down and get these really thick gray gloves that I have. And I noticed that the pipe inside the engine, which I've never seen sweat like that before and cold like that before, was very cold, and it was very sweaty. And I thought, wow, this must have worked.